Yet my scientific brain hurts because I do the same thing over and over again, but I get different results every time.
If you're dealing with people, there's no way you're going to get the same result by doing the same thing. Ever. Probably not twice.
You'd think I'd know that from dealing with you.
You'd think you would.
Moving forward with the Decker team. Moving forward together with the Decker team.
So we're honored to have created for you over 587 Life's Inside Track episodes where we share insider tips, making house home, building wealth, and how to get the most of the space that you're living in. And the great news is you can get access to them from home, from the office, or on the go. If you're not a subscriber to our YouTube channel, the Decker Team YouTube channel, you'll want to, because then you can get the freshest content every single week. And so this time, we're going to explore when things get messy, when things get really uncomfortable. If we're not hiding out, we've decided we're not going to hide out.
Yep.
Sometimes it's easy to give the pat answer. Just have a formula. This is what I do when a septic has an issue. This is what I do when a seller wants to know what to do in their home. This is what I tell them when the pricing isn't going well. If I have pat, consistent answers, that's kind of like a form of hiding out. It's certainly not dealing, you're not meeting the person where they are.
Absolutely. And I think that that's a big thing is listen. Truly listening to your seller, your buyer, or anybody in any relationship. When you truly listen, then you don't have a formula.
Formulaic?
That's the word, formulaic. Thank you for bringing that to my tongue. Because if I keep doing the same thing, it's fine if I'm working with an inert item, a desk or something. If I lift up on it, I'm going to get the same result. If I lift with the same amount of strength, I'm going to lift at the same height every time.
Never going to fail.
It's never going to change.
Unless somebody puts extra stuff on the desk.
Well, maybe. Then that's changing the situation.
Right.
But with people, I can't give the pat answer because I don't know their history. I don't know how they're going to react. I don't know what they've felt in the past, what previous experiences they've had with other real estate agents. That's one of the questions we ask. Well, okay, where in the process are you? And what have you experienced? Maybe they bought or sold before. What was their experience like? And maybe they've never bought, but maybe they've had interactions that caused them not to buy, right? That's still the experiences that shift, color, taint, whatever way you want to say it, the next experience that they're going to have with me or you.
Right. And the reason for wanting to know those things is if I know somebody's had 7 real estate experiences, that doesn't mean they have all the answers. It doesn't mean they've helped, 3,117 families or over that. But what it means is they have a different level of expertise. But I have talked to lots of people that have sold many times, but were really not part of the process. It just happened to them rather than with them. And so I would say, what was your experience? Like, I understand you've sold 7 homes. That's fantastic. What was that like for you? When did you feel out of control? When did you feel in control? What do you wish you knew that you didn't know at the time? What are your thoughts this time? What are you thinking about between the times I'm not with you and you're in your home and you and your wife or your husband or your family member are having conversations about selling this home? What are you talking about? What are you thinking about? Because that will tell me now, how do I tailor the information I'm providing? Right? It's not the same for everyone.
Yeah.
Whether they've been down the road before or not, that isn't 7 times isn't enough information.
No. And what's interesting is we actually have a system, but it's not, what's the word? Oh, I'd call it a custom system.
Right.
Because there is a formula for getting a property sold or finding a property for someone, But if we don't customize that formula for the person and their unique situation, their unique needs, both emotionally, physically, and mentally,
Right.
because, recently we had a client that we helped sell a home, and wonderful, wonderful man. And he needed lots of communication. So we had frank conversations. He says, text isn't doing it for me. I need you to pick up the phone and talk to me more often.
More.
Even more. And so even though we have a system for feedback and we had a system for communicating around pricing and market and sending updated data, I need to customize my communication package with this person to make sure their needs were met.
Right. And we do that every time. And one of the questions we'll ask is, what do you expect from us during the journey? What do you think you need? And people go, I never thought about that before, because nobody ever asked me that in any sort of service industry, generally speaking.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll say, well, even in relation to communication, what does that look like for you that makes you feel in control?
Yeah. And we're talking about real estate right now, but this works in every area of your life.
Right.
So, one of the things you say is, I hear you when I'm sitting with you. I don't see you at a meeting very often. We don't go on appointments together very often. And you say, well, other than, getting your home sold for the best price, getting it sold in your timeline, and keeping you safe, what do you expect from me? What would you like me to provide for you?
Right. And this works with your kids. This works with your spouse. I mean, and if you ask, because if you did the exact same thing for all your kids, and I'm sure you can relate to this right now, if you prepared the same lunches even for probably all your kids, some of them would love it and some of them wouldn't. So when you're in a messy situation, you probably need to handle it slightly differently with each of them. So customizing your approach to suit the person and suit the situation.
Yeah. And, that reminds me of disciplining our children when they were younger. One, you just had to look at them sideways and they were off in the corner crying, I messed up, I'm so sorry. And then the other one, well, he just tried to laugh it off. So you had to give a very serious consequence for that child. And so it's fair, not equal.
Right.
It's to make sure that you're communicating and doing things that work for the other person, and whether that's when you have a messy time where you need to really solve something.
Yeah, clean up something.
Yeah. Like if there's somebody that you're thinking, oh, if I saw that person, I'd probably walk on the other side of the street. Or if I saw them in a store, I'd pretend I didn't see them.
And go
I'd
down
walk
a
the other
different
way.
aisle.
Yeah. So then there's something to clean up. Right?
Yeah, there really is.
Yeah.
So we're kind of thinking, how do I, we share our little nasty stories all the time. So now you get to share with each other and even in your own heart, like what is it you have to do to come to the truth of what's really going on and then own your peace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, George Martin says that many people often claim to hunger for the truth, but seldom like the taste when it's served up. We're thankful to be growing alongside of you because we are passionate about all of us being positioned for generational legacy.
Moving forward with the Decker team. Moving forward